So you want to learn how to brew kombucha, but don't quite know where to start. Well, you came to the right spot. We are going to go from turning this weird alien-looking creature into a delicious beverage. So right off the bat, this might be something that's really intimidating for you because you're brewing, it's a whole new concept. You're like, I have to take care of this life in here as well as make a beverage. It's all a little intimidating, but we're going to make this super simple, and we're going to try and do it pretty quickly, and that way you guys can enjoy the rest of your day. To save you some time, I'm also going to list a list of items that you need to start brewing kombucha right now. If you want, pause the video. This way you can write it down, type it down, do whatever you do on your computer, and then we're back. Alright, so we are going to start with, you're going to need a good jar. I go with about a gallon. I have some 2-gallon ones going. You're gonna need a jar, and this is where your kombucha will live. So far. You're also going to need to start boiling water. So the first thing that you're gonna need to do is boil some water. You can do this on a stove. I have been using just my camper stove because it's 1,000 times quicker when it comes to boiling water. That way it can just be done quickly. Another thing, try to, if you can, use filtered water. If you have a water filter at home, great. If you have a water filter that goes through your fridge, that also works. Just tap water, you want it to just be as pure as water as possible. Look at that. You are able to boil water. Congratulations. Alright, so first, you just need some green tea, preferably without any flavoring in it, or black tea also works. I like the green teas. You do not need to splurge on some super fancy, expensive, organic green tea. It's definitely fun too, and it is a little better for your kombucha, but you know what, stay in your price range. Don't blow $1,000 on learning how to brew. So, with our water boiled, we are going to add some green tea packets. I like to go, if I'm making a gallon, about 6 tea bags. Awesome. Now we're gonna let our green tea sit for a bit, that way it can just seep into the water. After we get our green tea done, you are going to want to get some sugar. We're gonna go with a cup of sugar for every gallon. So if you're doing a 2-gallon batch, you'll do 2 cups of sugar. And I always say it's best to err on the side of sweetness. So it's 1 cup, like a 1 1/4 cups. Alright, so we got our sugar. And you're just gonna add whatever's left over of your boiling water to your sugar. That way it can disintegrate it. Just give that a good stir. So we got our sugar, we got our tea, and we're just gonna let these bad boys sit for a bit. Alright, so our sugar water is cooled down as well as our tea. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our tea bags out of here. And you can always save those for later, make yourself a nice cup of tea. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your gallon jar, try and make sure it's glass. A lot of times if you use a plastic container, sometimes plastic can leach into the water, so you don't want that, so try and use glass. we will start off by pouring our sugar water in there. Basically like syrup. It's still a little warm, just because we want to make sure we get all that sweetness. Stir a little more. There we go. And we'll add our tea. And we're gonna do the same thing. Just give that bad boy a quick rinse. There we go. And what you'll do is you're gonna want to add some of that filtered water. Don't add too much though. About halfway should be good. Do a nice stir, get everything mixed up in there. The water's still a little warm, so it's steaming up the jug, but that's like, it's not gonna burn or kill our SCOBY. So next what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your SCOBY and you're gonna put that inside your jar. So when you are starting, what you want is you want your starter SCOBY, your mother SCOBY, and you're gonna put this inside your jar, but you also want to make sure you're keeping, I like to keep at least 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 cups of liquid of kombucha from my last batch when I'm starting a new batch. There we go. And with this one, since I took it out of another container, there was a little bit of film starting on the top, so we're gonna add that too, which is just another little SCOBY. Alright, so we got our kombucha SCOBY in here, we got some water, we have our sugar water as well as our tea. So now what we need to do is, from our original batch, this is not our original batch, I'm just taking some fermented kombucha from another batch that I have going. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take some of that and add it in, that way we get some of the kombucha juices I can add to our water. That way it's not just water, tea, and sugar and our SCOBY fighting to try and produce more, but then we have some of our nice SCOBY bacteria from another container that's going in. This container is pretty full, so I'm going to pour a lot in here actually, and it's a little diluted. It's not too old of a batch. I think that's good. And what you're gonna do next, just top that off with a little more filtered water. Try to leave a few inches on the top. 2 or 3. About there is good. And then you have 2 options. You can either have your lid and just very gently have it screwed on, just so it doesn't, there you go. That way it doesn't just completely come off easily, but that way stuff can't fall into it. You still want it to breathe, and since it's something that's brewing and creating some gases, you also want that to be able to burp itself. So you just want the lid to be on gently enough so it can still let some of that gas out, but so things can't get in. Or what you can do is take a coffee filter or some cloth and a rubber band and put that on top as well. That way it can still breathe through the filter, but stuff like bugs, dust, or anything else can't quite get in. That way our SCOBYs stay nice and safe. And all you gotta do now is keep it somewhere that's not too cold, not too hot, preferably in like a closet, and try and keep it out of direct sunlight. That way it can do its thing, and in about 7 to 14 days. I like to err on about 10 days. It should be ready to go. And all you need to do is make sure that you keep a few cups, 2 or 3 again, of the kombucha juice from this and your SCOBY, and you'll be good to start another batch and do it all over again. Alright, so now you have your brewed kombucha. What you can do is put it into smaller glass containers like these, or bigger ones like this, just whatever you got lying around. Try and, again, use glass. And then to flavor kombucha, what I really love to do is add either organic juices. One that I really like is this Ningxia Red. It's wolfberry juice with some other things and oils. That's a really good flavor with strawberry and raspberry diced up. So organic juices, just add some of those into your kombucha. Or, like I said, just some fruit right here. I got some frozen mangoes. That's another one that I really love, is mango kombucha and berry kombucha. There's hundreds of different combinations that you can explore and you can try on your own. But like typically just, you can't go wrong with fruits or juices. And with that, I just add a splash into a larger container and then put it in smaller containers like this. Or I'll let the fruit sit in a container like this for a day or two in the fridge, and you're good to go. And that's how you then flavor your kombucha. Or you can add more green tea or flavored tea to it afterwards and then put that in the fridge. You just want to try and keep your actual kombucha batch just plain non-flavored green or black tea, and you get to enjoy the labors of your work. Ooh, that's actually really good, even unflavored. Well, I tried to keep that video short. We'll see how it goes in editing. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you had fun learning something new with brewing kombucha.